Hey friends, welcome to my podcast. I have a special guest. She is a friend of mine. Meg and I are in a coaching program together, and I heard her get coached one time, and I was like, I need to talk to this woman. We need to connect. We need to be friends. And it turns out she lives in Texas. Formerly, I had connections in Texas. I actually still do because my daughter lives there. Her and I have become Instagram friends and even have had lunch together. And so I'm super excited. She is Meg, the divorce coach, and she is an expert. She herself has been divorced. I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit and tell us what she wants us to know about her, and then we'll get into what we're going to talk about.
Hey Jen, so good to be here today. Yeah, I'm Meg and I call myself Meg the Divorce Coach, and I am a full-time single mom of three teenagers.
Mm,
I love it actually. It's just been so fun, really, to see their personalities growing and becoming real people instead of just kids. Has really so fun. I got divorced about 5 years ago, and it's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know until afterwards, and you wish that you would have done so many things differently or wish that you would have known certain things. And so I decided, you know what? This is what I'm going to help people with. I'm going to help them as well as just coaching with emotional support. I'm going to help them also with strategy and making sure that they're advocated for. And so that's who I mostly coach is people at some stage of their divorces. And I love it. I
I love
really love
that.
it.
Yeah.
And I have learned how much that I didn't even realize I know at this point, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yes, it totally does. And I think people don't realize they're so focused on getting an attorney when they're getting divorced. But honestly, I think an attorney and a coach are 100% necessary because your divorce is going to be so much more mentally doable. You just are going to have such a better experience if your mindset is set in the good direction, especially if you're not the one that wanted the divorce. I think it can make divorce go so much smoother. I know
100.
I had a coach while getting divorced. I know you had a coach while getting divorced.
Yes.
We're obviously proponents of coaching, but I think it really does help and make such a difference. So I love that, just like me with betrayal, that you have chosen something that you're like, oh, I can help other women
Yeah,
with this. It's so great.
absolutely.
One of the questions we thought about, and I'm going to ask you, the expert, how do you help people figure out what they want? Because so often, even women in general, we struggle with what we want. So, what are
Yeah.
some ideas?
Yeah. So as I'm coaching people, it becomes really apparent very quickly that while we're talking and depending on what we're talking about, they don't have a clue what they want. And usually, what's so fascinating is, especially in a really challenging time, like in a divorce, when we ask someone, what do you want? We're going to answer with the opposite of what we don't want.
Mm,
Or they'll tell me, I don't want this and I don't want that. If we explore a little bit more, and if I point out to them, like, okay, so just notice that when I ask you what you want, you only can give me a long list of what
mm,
you don't want. If we talk about it again, they don't have a clue.
yeah.
And a lot of times that's because we're in survival mode for so
Mm,
long,
mm,
especially as women. And then that's compounded if you have kids.
yes.
Whether or not you are a stay-at-home mom, whether you work, your life becomes not your own
Yes.
for at least a while. And it takes a lot of intention to flip it back a little bit and actually pay attention to yourself.
Yeah.
And so, one of the first exercises and kind of pieces of homework that I'll give to someone when they're trying to figure out what they want is to just start paying attention to what you like.
I love that.
Because a lot of times, again, it's okay, maybe what's your favorite way to spend time by yourself? And they're like, I don't know, maybe I'm watching a show with my kids. I don't
They're not
even
by
know
themselves. Yeah.
they're not by themselves, or if they
Yes.
are by themselves, they're still doing something for somebody
Yes.
else.
So true.
Just starting to brainstorm and pay attention, or even if you have friends or people that you're around, like what do they like? And maybe I might like that too. Just trying to open yourself up to one, like it's okay to like things
Yes.
and to want things. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
And two, like nothing has gone wrong if it's hard to answer that question at
Mm.
first. We are where we are. And so let's just start exploring.
I don't know
Turns
why we're
out we
scared
like
of
something.
that. Why are we scared of
Yeah.
exploring? It feels dangerous or something for some reason.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because a lot of times in an unhealthy marriage, especially the woman who tends to be the one who's more, of course, there's exceptions to this
Yes.
rule. Let's
Yeah.
just
But
say
general, yeah.
the woman is the one who might bend a little bit more easily to what other people want, or she's trying to keep everyone else happy. And so she ignores herself, or even when she says she wants something, it is not met with support from her
Mm.
husband or her
Yeah.
partner. And
Yes.
so I can't even go and get my hair done
Mm.
without finding a babysitter or it
Yes.
turning into a thing about this is my free time. And again, I'm overgeneralizing
Yeah.
hugely,
But it's common.
but
Common.
common, and it's something that women come to me and to you, I know, really frequently with,
Yeah. It's and
almost
yeah.
being like punished for wanting something.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It happens all the time. And I think learning what you want can really be such a powerful blessing, especially in divorce,
Yes.
because you're now almost reinventing your entire identity. I think it's so true. Another thing that I know gets like just ripped to shreds is your confidence
Yeah.
in divorce. So, what are your tips or thoughts on how do we rebuild our confidence?
Yeah. I think confidence and self trust
Mm,
go so hand in hand. And it has to start with being kind to ourselves and paying attention to ourselves, because you can't trust somebody that you don't know.
mm,
And you absolutely don't have confidence in people that you don't know or don't trust.
yes.
It's this triad of love and trust and confidence. And
It sounds easy, but it's so hard. My experience, I'm not sure about yours, but I was given a lot of criticism in my marriage and I really believed it. I believed those thoughts were true. I believed the things that my spouse was saying to me, I made them true. And then getting divorced, I'm like, wait, am I that? Is that who I am? That took some time for me.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think just noticing when those thoughts come back up or questioning them, and it feels, speaking to what you were just saying about, especially when a spouse or a partner has these criticisms of you, we think they know me better than
Yes.
anyone else does. There must be some truth to it. It so quickly gets internalized.
Yeah.
And darn it, it takes so
Yeah.
much more work to get that out and give it away than it does where we immediately take that on as true.
Yeah. Amen. How do you practice having different thoughts or what's helpful in rebuilding your confidence?
Yeah.
Self-trust, but how do we do that?
Yeah, so I think it starts with, again, paying attention to yourself and talking to yourself like you matter, even a couple of times a day. I was just speaking to a client the other day who is really struggling with some of these things. And she decided one thing that I really want to do for myself is she has this long, beautiful hair. And she said, I want to start brushing my hair on purpose every day while I'm in the mirror and braiding it to go to bed every night. And so she decided this is the time that I'm going to talk to myself and I'm going to look at myself and I'm going to tell that girl why I am proud of her. And I'm going to talk to her about the things that she's going through that I know are really hard. And I'm just going to talk to her like she matters and really internalize and almost turn your attention inward a little bit
Mhm.
rather than focusing it on everyone and everything else.
Yes, I love that. So often it's let's focus on what other people think of us instead of what we think of us.
Yeah.
And what we think of us is the only thing that really matters. It does take practice. I love that she's practicing that because that's going
Yes.
to really change her life.
Yeah. And when we start to pay a little bit more attention, we realize that there is so much to love and so
Mm,
much to be proud.
so true.
And that in itself is confident building.
Yes.
And then it helps us get to know ourselves. And when we're paying attention, then we are more able to figure out things that we like or that we want. And it's all just like one beautiful bubble that's all tied together.
Yes, I love that. One of the other questions I was thinking about is how do I even know who I am? And you mentioned that you have to figure that out by doing all
Yeah.
these other things.
Yeah. And you have to pay attention to yourself.
Yeah, we stop
Yeah.
noticing ourselves. It's like we turn 21 or get married, or I don't know, why do we do that as women?
A lot of times it's that's selfish to pay too much attention
Mm,
to yourself.
yeah. I think selfish, it's gotten a bad rap.
Yeah.
It has, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's good to be selfish sometimes. We
Yes,
need
it
to be.
is.
Yes, yes,
It is. And I'm always telling my clients if you're worried that you're going to be too selfish, you're not.
yes,
People
yes,
who truly are on the far end of really self-serving and really a reckless
yes.
selfishness that hurts other people, they're
Yeah.
not worried about being too selfish.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know some of those people in my life for sure. And they weren't women. They were men.
And they're probably not worried about it.
They're
It's kind
not. It
of,
is true. Women, we focus on what if there's this too selfish, but it's like we think we'll do everything for everyone else. And then we're depleted, have no energy, and we can't even think a thought to what do we want.
yeah,
It's like we have it backwards.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got to focus on us first, and then we can have so much more to give everyone else around.
Yeah. And it's been so interesting. And I'm sure you have the same experience or at least similar that as you have added more things to your life,
Yes.
of course, a stay-at-home mom is its own
Yes.
whole thing.
Yes.
But when you add more to it, it just gives back to your kids even.
Yes.
And
Yes. So true. True.
yeah, and I love hearing my kids talk about me and
Mm.
about what I do and what they, especially my girls, what they want for their lives. And it's so much richer and broader and more expansive
Yeah.
than what felt like was available to me.
Yes. I was always raised, you just stay at home. That's what you
Mhm.
do. But me, when I had my first baby, I struggled so bad. I was not a great homemaker. That wasn't where I thrived. And I thought something was wrong with me. What's wrong with me? I'm supposed to like love making dinner every night and doing
Yeah.
all the motherly things. I loved being a mother, but there was always something missing. But the thing is, I use that against me, like something's wrong with me. And that makes me sad. A lot of us do that. We have this mold that we thought we had to be. And now that we're discovering, at least for me with coaching, I know you with coaching, and you're a single mom, we're both divorced. I'm not nearly as exhausted as I was when I just was a stay at home mom. And I'm doing a lot more. because
Yeah.
I think I feel more energy. Yeah.
And what's been so interesting for me is my experience was a little bit different in that,
Mm,
like, I was a killer stay-at-home mom.
mm,
I was
um,
so good at everything. I am organized and I love to cook. And I was so good at all of
yeah,
those
you
things.
thrived.
I did. And I am thriving even more
Mm,
now. That's not my only thing. I still do all those things. I've
yes.
still got the three kids at home, but I am a better mom,
Mm,
100%. And I probably would have been a way better mom all along had I even allowed for the possibility of
mm,
you can be something else in addition to
yes.
this great mom.
Yes. I always think if I could have had like just a little side hustle, I think I would have thrived more as a mom.
Absolutely.
It was just really hard for me. I did it, right? But I was always the PTO president. I was always doing other things because there was something missing.
Yeah,
And anyways, and then of course I didn't have a supportive husband at all. So he would say he was so supportive, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I
right.
think we have to believe in ourselves and really know what's inside of us. I'm hoping this generation's different. Do you think they are?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, I think they are smarter than we
Yes.
were. They are
Yeah.
so much more emotionally intelligent too,
Yes.
and stronger. They're more flexible, I think, in
Mm,
a lot of ways, or just open to different possibilities that just
yeah.
really did not feel like they were even available to.
No, they're not so gendered, like, nope, this is what
Right.
women do, this is what men do. Which
Absolutely.
I love that because I
Me
think
too.
men can be good at things that traditionally women are good at, and
Yep.
women can be good and better at things that men are traditionally good at. So we shouldn't keep them gendered.
It doesn't serve
Yeah,
anybody to
no, it
put
makes it
people in a
worse.
box of this is what you should
Yeah.
be like.
No, it's so unhelpful. And then it makes those of us that aren't good at certain things, we think, what's wrong with us? And then it ruins our confidence. Look
Also
at,
not helpful.
I look at Meg and I'm like, look how amazing Meg is doing and what's wrong with me? And then we go into comparison, which isn't good. And
Right.
yeah, okay. I love this so much. I know this is a big question that I get asked and you get asked. What's some advice if you're deciding, do I stay married? Do I get divorced? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So a couple things come to mind probably right away. One is, what do you think is going to be different if you leave your marriage? Because most people aren't deciding, okay, I've made the decision to get divorced, but maybe I actually shouldn't and I should go
Mm,
back that way. We're
mhm.
all coming to it, at least it has been my experience with the
Yes,
people that I've coached. They're married and they're deciding, do I want to stay married or do I want to get divorced? And so we really want to explore and think about, what do you think is going to be different if you get divorced?
yeah,
And really explore, are those things even real or
yes,
true? Or why do we think that this is all of a sudden going to be so much better or
yeah,
different? Or the idea that changing a circumstance
yes,
isn't going to just magically make everything easier.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
certainly not going to make you happier almost all the time. Now, like
yeah,
again, if there is a situation with abuse, certainly changing that circumstance, it's
yes,
going to make it easier for you to love yourself and to protect yourself and protect your
yes,
kids in every way, not just physically,
yeah.
certainly. And so I guess that leads me into my next question of,
Oh,
should you stay or should you go? Is the question of, does me being in this marriage make too to love myself?
I love that question. Yeah.
And why?
Mhm.
Let's take a look at that again and really just see what's going on.
Yeah.
And often there is some type of abuse. And then
Yeah.
it's okay, we're getting a little bit more clear. And do we think it's coming to the realization of this is what your marriage is? And if this is what it is, are we willing to stay even if nothing ever changes?
Yeah, because people, oh, of course, we all think we can change our spouse, right? Oh, surely. I thought that for years. I'm like, oh, I can fix it. If I'm different, then he'll be different or whatever. And
Right.
sometimes that happens, but in
Yeah.
general, that doesn't always happen. But yeah, if nothing changes, are you going to be okay? I like that. I love those two questions because I think sometimes we don't go inside ourselves, we
Mm-mm.
point outside.
It'll be better if
Yeah.
you do this,
Yeah.
or if he just stops this, or if she just
Yes.
starts doing this, then
Yeah.
everything will be better. And I tell clients so many times, and it's something that I really truly believe is that people show us who they are, and it's good judgment to believe them.
Yes, yes. And somehow, for whatever reason, they need to show us lots of times before we believe. Many times.
Right.
I don't know, at least for me, it took a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Like, but they
so
said
hard.
this. Yeah, it is
Yeah, and
hard.
it's so hard on both ends.
Yeah.
When you've had a certain set of really harmful interactions, it's
Yeah.
really hard to believe either in someone's goodness
Yes.
or like that someone who really is changing. That's
Yeah.
really hard to believe too, as well as, when people are showing us time and again that they aren't willing to do anything different, or that it is really good judgment not to trust what they say.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
really hard to believe also.
So true, so true. And I always think marriage is hard and divorce is hard. And it's almost like you
Yeah,
have to choose which hard you're willing to do because they are both going to be
100%.
hard. But
Yep.
ultimately, I think, just like you said, one place will be easier to love yourself. And yeah, for sure, divorce, I love myself so much more now than when I was married.
Yeah,
Do you feel
I,
the
I,
same way?
yes,
Yes.
I absolutely did. I
Yeah.
do. And I'm getting to know myself in a
Mm,
different way that I never did before. And of course, it's a complicated,
yes, very
it's so
complicated.
complicated for why that is, or
Mm,
like trying to figure out all the things. And I'm
yes.
certainly not blaming it on any one person or
Yes.
circumstance or whatever. But for me and for everyone in the story,
Yes.
this was the healthiest choice
Yes.
for
Yeah.
all of us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that you can see that. Meg, how do people get a hold of you? And of course, we'll put it all in the show notes, but just tell us how, if someone wants to work with you, how can they work with
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, so I'm on all the places, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. My website is Meg the Divorce Coach.
Okay.
Um,
MEG,
yep,
MEG.
yep,
Okay. Meg the
yep.
Divorce Coach.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and I also do have a podcast too
Okay.
that it
Yeah.
all comes up if you search for Meg the Divorce Coach.
Perfect.
And yeah, Tuesdays are my consult days, and so those are the
Okay.
days that I coach people for free.
Okay. And so you can sign up for a free coaching call
Yep,
and then are you a private coach? Is that you're
I
a private coach?
am.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
Awesome.
a private coach. And if you sign up for my email list, I've got some freebies, and that will direct you to sign up for my email list as well.
Okay.
In
Great.
different places on all the platforms.
Okay.
But I also do a monthly webinar.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Okay.
and that's just for my email list. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's the first Wednesday of every month. And so
Okay.
that's next Wednesday is the first Wednesday. And so we're
Okay.
going to be talking about how to not care what people think.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, I'll put it in my show notes, all the links. And so,
Awesome.
sure what date this is coming out, but I'll make sure your webinar's
No
in
problem.
there.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, if you're listening to this, I'm also going to post this on YouTube, but Meg's beautiful inside and out. And so she's
Thank you.
awesome. You are, it's true. Anyways, all right. Thanks everyone for listening. If you liked this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and I will talk to you next week. Oh, let's see.